and gentlemen, my first guest has been an international star since she was a child. She starred in the sitcom Suddenly Susan. She's currently on Broadway in the musical Wonderful Town. Please welcome Brooke Shields. I always forget how tall you are.
You said I was, what, 6'9"?
You're 6. You're over. Well, I'm 7'5".
Well, then
You can't tell looking at home. I've said this many times, but I'm 7'5". You're over 7'2". It's incredible.
Yeah, I know. It's you know, it's tough for buying clothes, but
yeah. Well, you look fantastic as always. Thank you for being here.
Thanks
Congratulations.
For having me back.
You have a daughter, and I think since the last time we spoke, who's 18 months old.
She's
your daughter?
18 months old.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
and congratulations as well to you.
Yeah, my daughter's 14 months.
14 months.
Yeah. So tell me about your 18-month-old. What is she doing?
Well, she's doing everything. I mean, a lot of everything. The talking is sort of, kind of, has different forms. Like, there's a lot of gibberish and a lot of, and then she'll say things like she'll point to, we've got these flashcards, and, well, you know, she'll say what she thinks is frog. Right. But it doesn't really come out frog. Right. It'll come out very obscenely.
Help us with that.
Well, it's
you can't say it until we're on cable. Oh, right. Oh, okay. It comes out like that.
Yeah, and then there's another one. Clock, she says without the L.
Yes,
which is a good.
That's actually pretty common because my daughter does that too, and she can't walk yet,
naked, right?
But she's like, no, that's too creepy.
Yeah, I know.
Now I'm gonna get indicted.
Oh,
yeah.
No, but she'll be in like a restaurant and she'll start screaming that
word. Over and over again. Nice little girl. Yeah, I don't know where she gets it. They're trying to say innocent words, but it's horrible.
It is actually, you know, and but poop is a good one. She loves that. And so we're trying to teach her I love you, but she comes out with I love poop. It's just stuff that's so embarrassing and unbelievable.
That's something I actually say as an adult a lot. I love poop. Please, Conan. No, well, I do.
How can you not?
Now, so do you bring her places with you, or are you one of those moms that likes to sort of just make her stay at home, or is she, I mean, where is she going? Is she going to work with you, to the theater?
She's coming to the theater with me, especially on matinees days. She comes with me, and I like to bring her everywhere. You know, she's a good little person to hang around, and she's really, and it's funny because she'll come on in the theater with me, and now she's starting to do all of the choreography, but she'll sort of go, and she thinks that's snapping. Right. And so they're snapping. She'll do the choreography, and I won't know where she's gotten it from, and then she'll just sort of do these little, you know, and she can actually sit through Act 2, which is shorter than Act 1. Right. But sometimes she'll see me on stage, and she'll say, Mama! And we have to kind of, like, take her backstage, because she disrupts the audience.
So you have armed goons rush her backstage. Don't ever say Mama again when you see your Mama! But I was saying Mama! No! That breaks the reality. What's crazy with you?
Fourth wall.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want that to happen. Now, you have, you know, you have such a sweet, I think most people, even tonight, I say that you're on the show, and everyone's like, oh, yay, Brooke, she has such a sweet, nice, wholesome image. Have you ever wanted to play a role that's completely against that type, like a killer robot from the future, you know? Some role where you're like, you will die now! And, you know, I mean, something that's just going to shock people?
I think if Tarantino directed it, yes. I mean, I think, you know, I would do it for him. It would sort of have to be, you know, I'd love that stuff, but it has to be sort of so far gone that then it's kind of, you can kind of really play with it, and I would trust him with something like that. Anything, you know, I mean, anything that I ever do then becomes the shocker. You know, it's sort of nobody thought that I could do this role on Broadway, and then that becomes a surprise. And so it's nice to know that I can keep sort of getting challenged and keep
trying new things. Yeah. Well, on the role, this is interesting, on the role that you're doing now on Broadway, there's a lot of choreography in the role, and you took over the role from someone who's smaller than you.
She's quite petite.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of scenes where, I mean, I was watching different scenes today where they have to, the other dancers have to pick you up and spin you around and do all these things. Was it a transition for them?
Well, it's called a lift, but with me it's more like a hoist. You know, because I'm so much taller than my predecessor. I'm just bigger than my predecessor. And I said to them, I said, I don't want to hear any grunting. I don't want to hear any when you pick me up. I want to look. I want to see happy faces. And so now I look up at them, and they're happy, but they're crying.
Make it stop!
But I mean, it's unbelievable what they do. They throw me around, and at first I was a little nervous, but there are 6 of them, so I guess it's evenly distributed weight.
Are they really yeah, that's a nice, gentle way to put it. Are they literally throwing you around? Because it looks so physical.
They're throwing me they're using me as a human jump rope. They're throwing me from sort of cadet to cadet, which is always a good thing.
Don't I know it? I experimented once in college. But do you...
I'm a good straight man for you.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, no, but it's funny. But I get bruises all over I've got bruises all over my body. I mean, my daughter's so sweet because she'll look at them and she'll say boo-boo, and she'll try to pick it off. My husband just says, "You're not really in a play, are you?" Because there are bruises everywhere on my body.
Right. He's like, I'm going to follow you to work and find out
on Broadway,
what's going on. Have there been any mishaps that have happened in the show so far?
So many. I mean, one time there were chairs that were supposed to come out, and they come out in a certain track, and we're supposed to sit down on them at a certain count within the music. And I trust that the chairs are there. You know, we all do our part.
Right, right.
And I went out there, and I just did it on the count, and I looked up, and I held my purse, and I sat down, and there was no chair.
And you just went right down?
I plummeted, legs up in the air, the whole thing. And thank God the character's a funny character, so they thought that I meant it.
Right. Oh, so the audience was like, she's giving her all tonight. She's and then the problem is then that audience leaves and goes, wait till the part where she falls on her ass. That's the best part.
I mean, I don't know, one of the cadets lost his balance and took me down with him.
Oh, really?
And somehow we managed to you've never seen people get up off the ground and get back into the dance number more quickly in your life. So you just adapt. I mean, it's live theater. And
that's the great thing. I mean, that's, you know, this show, we tape it. It's just a little bit before 12:30 right now when we're taping it. Shut up. No, but, you know, we tape it a little early and then show it later that night. But one of the things is that you just have to, no matter what happens, you have to keep going. And then you know, it's...
Sometimes people don't make entrances, and we're stuck there trying to stay in character. And my co-star, Jennifer Hope Wells, who's a delightful person and singer and actress, and the two of us are always left out on stage when people don't make their entrances. And so the two of us look at each other, and it's the same thing. Our eyes get really wide, and she'll say, "Can you believe it?"
Right.
And then I'll say, "I don't believe it." "Really? What happened?" You know, you just try to fill in the time, and then you try to kind of, you know, stay in character but fill the time until someone realizes they're not on stage.
And then out of nowhere you hear, "Mommy!" and your daughter comes in and saves the day. Yay!
Oh, God. The kids always save the day somehow. But...
Well, Wonderful Town is on Broadway at the Al Hirschfeld Theater. And just a thrill to have you by. Thanks so much for being here. Very nice having you on the program. Brooke Shields, Ryan Reynolds coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Thanks for being here.